Alright, this is going to be video number 2 on Dad's chopper paint job. I got the clear all sanded down on the tank and the fenders. And I used some 1500 wet dry sandpaper on that. I wet sanded those. And then I just came back afterward with a Scotch-Brite. Hit all my edges real good. I'm getting ready to start on the flames. I'll be using this lime line. This is, I believe, 1/8 inch. Yeah, 1/8 inch. That's a vinyl tape. And I'm going to be coming back with this Scotch 3M 233. And we'll use that around the outside of this 1/8 inch for the bleed through. And then we'll fill everything else in with just some regular, like 3/4 inch or 1.5 inch. Just regular masking tape. So I just wanted to get a quick before video of these before I start putting the flames down on here. Alright, so I'm done laying out my flames on the tank. This was extremely time consuming. It took me a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. I was planning on getting all 3 of these striped tonight. And it's just not going to happen. It took me a long time to get all this right where I wanted it, and to try and keep some of it lined up as much as possible. Like these 2 areas here, I wanted them to come down around the same area, and then I also wanted it to wrap around the gas cap and still try and keep everything somewhat uniform on there. So that's going to be it on this part. I'm going to go ahead and take this 1/4 inch, the 1/4 inch 233, and put that around all the edges of this 1/8 inch. So that's the next step. I'm going to probably go ahead and paint this one tonight and get the airbrushing done on it. And then throughout this week after work, I'm going to try and work on these 2. I can't rush this because I want it to look good. If it takes me a while, then it just takes me a while. I'm not worried about it. I did burn through quite a bit of this line tape though. I may have to order another roll of this, which kind of sucks because this stuff was 15 bucks a roll. Alright, we're going to be using this airbrush that I bought off of Amazon. It's just a little airbrush kit. It was about 20 bucks. So we're going to be using this to spray the outline of the flames. And then we're going to be spraying some of this Custom Shop Brilliant Silver Metallic. This is pre-reduced, ready to spray. This is from tcpglobal.com. Alright, so here it is after I went through and dusted all the edges in. That gun was definitely hard to get used to. So I'm going to try and go through. You can see it's got quite a bit of silver even on all this black. I'm going to try and go through after all this dries and kind of just take a Scotch-Brite and clean up some of these areas a little bit so it's a little bit more uniform in color. But we're going to go ahead and get this tape pulled off tonight, and then we'll see what it looks like after I get this tape off. All right, so that came out pretty good. I got a lot of touch-ups that I got to do. I'm going to come through with a Scotch-Brite, kind of clean all these areas up where my airbrush got kind of out of hand a little bit. It got a little splattery, but for the most part, it came out really nice. And I'm going to be spraying a silver metal flake over the top of everything before I put the candy on. So it'll be over the flames and over the black. So a lot of this, after I clean this up, a lot of this you're not going to see anyways once that other silver metal flake is over the top of everything. She bad. Oh yeah, baby. Alright, so I'm getting ready to start on the rear fender. The rear fender and the front fender are going to be nowhere near as time consuming as the tank was. Pretty much all you can see on this back fender when the seat is on it is just these two sides right here and right here, and then down here at the very bottom. The majority of all that is completely covered. So I'm going to try and bring my flames back down the side and then wrap into the tail portion back here all as one, to where it doesn't look funky looking, but I still want to have some large looking flames so that it's highly visible, because I want to be able to see all this really well, so just so that it stands out when the candy's on it and when the seat is on it. I want to be able to tell that there's flames on this rear fender. So I'm going to go ahead and get this one moved up out of my way, get this table cleared off, and I'm going to start striping up this rear fender. I'm not going to do any of these touch-ups yet. I'm going to do all that once everything's done. As far as my painting, I'll come back and touch everything up, clean all my edges up real good and stuff. All right, so this is what I ended up going with by the time it was all said and done. I ran out of the green line tape, and luckily I had some of this old blue 3M 1/4 inch, but I was able to make it work. So I finally got it to where I'm satisfied with it. I think it looks pretty good. Once we get the silver on there, it's going to look real nice. One thing that kind of threw me off a little bit was the other side. I had a shorter area to work with on this side. And the pattern is a bit different from this side to the other side, but that's fine. It's completely custom. It doesn't really have to be exactly the same on both sides. So I got the layout pretty similar. My dad has spikes all over his bike, polished aluminum spikes in miscellaneous places. So I thought this little pitchfork deal in the back right here would look kind of good. You're only gonna see from like here down on that. So you'll see these 3 little spiked areas. And then the majority of this that's on the sides, you'll probably see up to about right in this area. We're going to lose some of this flame. But for the most part, I think we'll be all right. Up in here is going to be gone from here up. But I'm going to go ahead and set this to the side and go ahead and get the front fender taped up. And then I'll probably end up painting these tomorrow. It's Sunday. I want to at least get them all taped up, and at least the hard part will be done. All right, so on this front fender, if I went the same direction that I was going on the tank, all of our flames would start in the front and come back. But the problem is most of the fender on this bike that faces forward, all the flames will be coming back, and you're just not really going to see them if they're all just coming towards the rear. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape them up to where there's flames back here on this back half coming down, so it still goes along with what's going on there. But I'm also going to have flames coming down to a point in the front, so it'll have them on the front and rear, and then it'll be, the graphics will be the full length of the entire front fender. All right, so here is the front of the front fender. I haven't done anything back here yet. So I got a couple flames on each side. And I threw in another one of these spike type deals in the middle right here. Similar to what's on that back fender. Kind of lowrider style, but at the same time it'll go together with everything else and still matches the flames. So I'm going to go back and start back here and figure out what I'm going to do here. Alright, so I ended up having to finish the back fender and completely do the front fender using just my small, this is my little mini HVLP gun. That airbrush took a shit on me. Would not work. Took it apart, cleaned it. I don't know what the hell's going on with it. It's blowing paint out of the bowl. So I just gave up on it. So I just turned the pressure down all the way, dusted it with this, and it should still look good. We're going to come back with the Scotch-Brite, like I said we're going to do on that front, or on that gas tank. But I got everything outlined. We're going to go ahead and pull the paint off of both, or pull the tape off of both of these. And we'll see what it looks like. We'll get all three of these set up on the table real quick, see what everything looks like. Alright, so I finished all my touch-ups tonight. I went through with the Scotch-Brite and all these black areas in between the silver on everything. I just went through and basically evened all that out as much as possible because my airbrushing wasn't completely even all the way around, and my gun kept getting real sputtery on me. So the next step is going to be to put the silver metal flake on It's going to make it look a lot better too. It's going to make everything look a little bit more even. So I'm going to put that on next, and then we'll get some candy on there. All right, we're about to put on some metal flake. I got these things all wiped down. I'm going to be spraying some of this auto flake, premium flake. It's Hemway is the brand. This was 15 bucks for this big pack on Amazon. And then I bought a gallon of the universal clear coat. This is the European style. It's supposed to be a little bit thicker, and it's supposed to lay on a little bit smoother and sag less than regular clear. So we're going to be mixing just a little bit of this in with a quarter clear, and we're going to get some metal flake on these next. All right, I got the silver flake in, mixed in with the clear coat. We're getting ready to lay this shit on there. All right, we're getting ready to mix up some of this House of Color tangerine candy base coat. This is a translucent base coat, so you can see through it really good. It's really transparent. So we're going to reduce this 2 to 1. So 2 parts base coat, 1 part reducer, which will give us a little bit more because we only have, can't remember if this was a half pint or a pint. I think it was a half pint. Can't remember exactly what I ordered, but once we reduce this, we'll have plenty to go around this thing a couple times. I'm going to throw a little reducer in this and shake that up real good and dump that out. That is some super pretty stuff. This is actually metallic. This is the Shimmering 2. So this has a metallic on it also. Oh yeah. She sure is sweet. Alright, so here is the candy applied over the top of my flames. You'll be able to see all this a lot better once the clear is on it also. Metal flake over metal flake over metal flake over metal flake. So I'm going to go ahead and let this dry for a little bit, and then we will get the clear on. Alright, so here it is after 2 coats of clear. These are just going to be the first 2 initial coats just to cover the candy. I'm going to be coming back and sanding these down and re-clearing. I have a whole gallon that we're going to put on this thing. All right, Dad's gonna be here in a couple hours to pick his parts up. I got everything buffed out last night. I have a hidden camera set up that he knows absolutely nothing about. So I'm gonna try and get his initial reaction when he sees these things on camera. And then we'll get some more video when these are actually on the bike. The plan was to set these out in the sun so that we could see the metal flake and stuff going on in them. But it's snowing outside, so I'm not going to be able to do that. But I got a bunch of lights set up to where we'll be able to see the metal flake and everything going on with this paint job. So this is a black base coat, black sparkle metallic base coat is what it's called, with silver airbrushing, silver metallic airbrushing, and then over that I came back with a silver metal flake, and then a tangerine candy over the top of that, and then it's got about 10 coats of clear just for the top coat. It's got 17 coats of clear total